Okay, so maybe you have a speech, some sort of keynote, some sort of presentation coming up, and you are really nervous. Hey, this is Peng Joon, and today I want to be able to show you behind the scenes to my entire thought process of what it is that I normally do when it comes to delivering a keynote speech. So whether you're trying to deliver it in front of 50 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people, whatever it might be, today I'm going to be showing you exactly how I think about what to teach, how to make it interesting, even if it's a dry, boring, technical subject. You will see that in this segment over here, I literally am preparing for an event. It was called the Level Up Summit. There was about 1,000 people in the room or so. And I'm going to show you exactly how, from not knowing what to say just yet, how I think about the slides, how to open, how to capture the audience's attention, have them hang on every word, and how do I structure it all the way to the end so that the audiences shifts their beliefs, their attitude, and to deliver that presentation so well that you get a standing ovation at the end of it all. Today, let's take a look at behind the scenes to how I literally walked my coaching clients through their entire thought process so that you'll be able to model it for your presentation as well. Let's begin. A very important piece when it comes to a presentation is to remember first that your audience, most likely a year, 3 years, 10 years from now, will never remember what it is that you said. The only thing they will remember is how you made them feel. The reason it's powerful is when emotion is evoked. Right? Emotion is at an all-time high. It's not like chances are the things that you remember wasn't because of this highly intellectual conversation or breakthrough during that presentation. Those presentations are great, but it will never really be like absolutely legendary, like something that somebody will remember 10 years after. Now that's how I think about giving a keynote. Like if you think about it, I am literally taking a 25-hour flight all the way to Dallas to do a 1-hour keynote and another 25-hour flight. All of that work for 1 hour. Okay? So I take that 1 hour very seriously, even though I haven't really prepared for it yet. And the way I think about it first, so it means that if I wanted to brew this amazing 1 hour pitch, which isn't really a pitch, I'm not selling anything. It's a pure keynote. But if I did, I always think about, like, if I did, what would make the entire audience running to the back tables, right? Even if I didn't have an offer. First, we gotta think about who is the people in the room, okay? We gotta begin with that, okay? Who's there in the room, okay? So if you do a presentation, the first thing is who's in the audience? How can I make it specific to them? Now, basically high level, most of these people in there, they're going to be agency owners. Okay, these are the typical audience in that crowd, people who run some sort of digital marketing agency. And this is going to be typically my audience. Okay, that's in the crowd on that day. I want to think about within this short time frame that I have. Okay, so like for example, Funnel Hacking Live, that keynote, I had 25 minutes. Okay, last year's keynote at Funnel Hacking Live, 25 minutes, slightly harder. But I want to think about during this time, so for this one, I've got 1 hour, so that's slightly better. What do I want to accomplish in terms of, first of all, the belief that I want to instill in them? Like in 1 hour, here's what I want them to believe in. Okay, not what I want to teach them. The first thing is, what do I want them to believe in? Okay, so first of all, if you had to do a presentation, you gotta ask yourself, what is this empowering belief that I can give to my audience so that they'll finally be able to get out of their own way? Because typically that's the biggest thing that keeps somebody from getting results. You could teach them all of the steps, right? A lot of times you'll think what makes a good keynote is, let me show them the steps, I'm going to give them the tactics, the techniques, what to do. But if you did that, and if the steps are good, at most, it will be a presentation that they'll remember for the next 48 hours, but it's not going to be one that they're going to talk about 1 year later. Why? Because that's not how people are wired. My example over here, because I know that I'm speaking to agency owners, I want to be able to show them how we got our first 1,000 users on our software, how we acquired them. So I want to be able to them to believe that it is possible to grow your agency business utilizing events, and here's how I did it. Okay, so the belief that I want to be able to instill in my audience in that 1 hour is to show them that you can scale your agency using events. That's the belief I want to instill them. I would like you to complete this sentence. I want my audience to believe that. Okay, what do you want them to believe? So first one is I want my audience to believe that this scaling on your agency business can be done utilizing events, and that any agency owners can use events to scale their business. Now this brings us to the title. How you write titles is this, okay? And this is something that I'm always training my team, my writers. When it comes to copy 101, it's very similar to writing bullet points. I want to first begin with what is the vanilla boring version of the title first. What's the boring version? So an example with this, okay? So once you understand what to believe in, the next thing is how do you craft a great title or hook? And the way you're going to begin is you're going to start off with like the boring title. So what's a boring title? A boring title is the title everybody would write. So things like how to have a successful social media strategy, right? Everybody do this, thumbs down, boo, right? It's like, that's what everybody's saying, right? The boring vanilla title would be how you can grow a successful business online. How to achieve success as a digital agency. One of the key things that I'm always looking at, like the test, whenever I'm thinking about hiring, let's say a content writer, like is this, like one of the things that will be like, what's the vanilla version, and is this person able to take like the hooks, the titles, and turn it into something that makes it a lot more compelling. A much more interesting one would be like how we automate our entire social media strategy by just utilizing this one simple strategy, or by allocating just half a day every single month, right? I want to be able to make things like the next thing I'm asking myself is, what's the interesting version of that? Once we have the vanilla version, we're going to add in the spices. We're going to add in some salt and vinegar. What I'm going to do is, I want to be able to think about what's a spiced up version of this. So it could be the case now, I would say, so right now, what do I mean by getting these results by doing the complete opposite of what others are doing? For the longest time, marketers have preached this, right, called the value ladder. You got a free, and then you have a low ticket product, and then you want to have a core offer, you have a high ticket, and you got to have these different funnels. You got a lead funnel, you got a tripwire funnel, and you got a webinar funnel, and you got a high ticket funnel, and basically you got to be able to run ads. Now I don't have to go through this entire thing with you because that's not the point. But what I'm doing is I'm showing them, and this links back to what we did last weekend at Implementation Week, which is the old way versus the new way. Okay, write that down. Old way versus new way. If you want to get them to shift their beliefs, you gotta show them what is the method that everybody has been doing all this while, and you want to be able to show them why that might be flawed, because that's what makes it good, right? If not, it's gonna be like what everybody else is teaching. I am showing them the result it generates from new way. Okay, because now it's like, it's exciting again. You show them the new way, but they might not be convinced that the new way actually works. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm showing them the results it generates from the new way. All I'm doing is I'm showing them, the slide name really is just when you apply and implement these steps. Okay, so this is when I'm going to show them an example of how we got over 1,000 software as a service clients through events. Okay, so this is probably where I'll talk about that, because this would be applicable to them. Now that they're excited about the new thing, I got to be able to walk them through this journey, right? Remember, I want to be able to instill this new belief in them that this thing is possible. So now, I got to be able to show them the steps, knowing very well that steps will not be the one that creates change. Okay? Remember, we want to change who they are, how they think, their belief systems, because those are, and how they feel, because that's the thing that creates true change. So the next thing I'm going to think about is my framework. Okay, like, what would that look like in order to be able to grow their agency through events without, or rather by doing something different, okay? So what I will do is I will probably walk them through my sales process when it comes to events and the different steps associated to it. So that's the framework. Okay, now we're not going to go deep into this because this will be an entire topic on its own, but this is basically where I reveal the steps. If you can change who they are and how they are wired and their thought process and their belief systems, that's how you can create long-term sustainable results. It is not when you tell them the steps. Anybody can tell steps. But if you can change how they are wired and how they show up and how they look at life and their aliveness and how they're conditioned to think, that is how you can create long-term sustainable results. Well, I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes to this coaching call. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. It does help the channel out a little bit. And to subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos just like this one. Now, some of you asking me, how can I be part of this process? How can I ask you questions? How can I have you coach me or mentor me? We want to make sure that we are working with the people that's the right fit. You'll need to fill up a form. There's a link right below this video. Somebody on my team might give you a call to interview you to see if they're right fit for each other. And if you want to apply and see if you're a good fit, then all you need to do is click on this link in the description box below and my team will be in touch with you.